Smackdown 2017, the last show. Now, I'm not going to say I saw Raw. I didn't. I skipped it. I wasn't feeling well. So I see this Smackdown. And I liked it. It wasn't incredibly great, but I did like it. And it does give me some interest going into Royal Rumble 2018. I'm not saying an incredible amount, but it is something that I am interested in seeing. Let's do the one that I don't understand why they're doing it. The Bludgeon Brothers versus the Fashion Popo. Why is Tyler Breeze and Fandango getting their asses handed to them? Why? They should stay in the back. They should be doing fashion files. They should be allowed to do fashion files and be freaking funny while doing it. They don't need to wrestle to get over. And they're wrestling. Not saying either one of them are bad wrestlers. I want to make this very clear. I'm not saying that Fandango's a terrible wrestler. I'm not saying that Tyler Breeze isn't bad either. Both of them are good wrestlers, but they're more better over in the back. They don't even need to wrestle. They can just come out, have some fun, go in the back, do fashion files, and very rarely wrestle. When you do this to them like this, you ruin the freaking gimmick of the Fashion Police. And that's what they're doing. They went up against the Bludgeon Brothers. They got their asses saved by the Ascension. The Ascension! What? Why? And then, this is the thing that gets me. You have the interview. Then the Ascension saying that it's unfair. So why didn't the Ascension actually take over for them and say, we're not letting our friends get their asses kicked. We're going to be the ones that's going to kick the Bludgeon Brothers' asses. We're going to kick them. No, they're saying next week, the Fashion Police will face them again. Why? They faced them twice and got their asses handed to them twice. Why do this? Why? It makes my wrist hurt. Already hurt my wrist. It angers me that a good gimmick in the Fashion Police that no one thought would ever get over. And I don't know if I'm one of the few people who actually said the Fashion Police was funny. I'm sure there had to be someone else way before me. I doubt I'm the first one to say it. But they got over. People like the skits of Miami Vice. They like the skits of the X-Files. They like the skits of everything else they were doing. And then they went away from it and then they started throwing them into being wrestlers again. Now I know that could be that they want to wrestle. But they were getting freaking over without doing that and they should have left it. Now it makes them look weak. I'm just... Now, the opening of the show. Hearing that Dolph Ziggler... I'm sure that I'm going to go and check the Slag Daddy and see if he made a video about this. Because if it is true that Dolph Ziggler, Nick Theodore, has actually left, I know he's going to be so freaking happy. He's got to make a video about it. So I will be watching to see if he's going to be doing it. But... in the opening of the show, you got Daniel Bryan pretty much saying that he seems to have just relinquished the title. So we're going to have a U.S. Championship tournament. So that means you're blowing out Bobby Roode and you're blowing out Baron Corbin for this feud between a Daniel Bryan and a Shane McMahon. That's the way it looks like it's going down. And then this leads, instead of leading to the U.S. title... and one of the first matches of it, there are two matches that were on the show, you get a stupid match of New Day, of Rusev Day, and Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. Why would you add them both together? You're trying to get over a U.S. tournament. A U.S. title tournament. And then you straight go into the tag titles, which should have never been done then. Why? Couldn't you waited? Next week, you could have done it. The beginning of the year, it would have made it more interesting. Let them go into the new year of finding a new challenger for the Usos. And then the new challenger, the Usos, can go up against the Usos at Royal Rumble. Why not do it then? Why do it here? Mind you, it was a good match, and I'm saying this again, and I don't know if anyone's going to agree with me, and I hope you guys can agree with me agree with me below. Rusev is only relevant because of Aiden English. Rusev Day is only relevant because of Aiden English. That entire situation is because of Aiden English. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from Rusev. They did screw him over badly, and his character is ready to be flipped to a face. But to get there, he didn't have Alana. He had Aiden English, which is working beautifully for him. Aiden English made Rusev Day. That is his gimmick. No matter what anybody says, that's his gimmick. And in the end, it was Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. I still say this. They should have been made into singles competitors longer, then brought together. Now you got them together. Their characters... Let me ask you guys a question. Other than looking on YouTube, when was the last time you saw just Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin have a segment in the back just by themselves? Tell me when was the last time you saw that, other than when they first initially got together, with Kurt Angle being there, being dealt with Daniel Bryan or Shane McMahon, or the Usos, or New Day. There has not been, from what I understand, one segment for them by themselves to try and get the characters over. It's always been roughly coming out, and it is so brief and so sloppy, it doesn't work. Now, I know a lot of people say these guys are great. This is not talking about their ring ability. This is about all around what they're doing. In-ring ability. Being able to tell a story in the ring. To be a ring general. To have charisma. To have mic skills. They have nothing there. And I think it would have been better if they'd been separate first. Had both been so badly frustrated that they finally came together. It was rushed. That's just the way I feel about it. And this just doesn't feel right. I just don't see them doing anything good with the Usos. I just don't. Having them do it again, and then if they win, what does this mean? You actually think they're going to be getting more airtime? They're going to have more time in the back. Maybe they'll have a couple of interviews. Maybe we'll finally get a backstage segment with them by themselves. But why couldn't they have it beforehand? They had plenty of time on Smackdown. That's just bad writing. I'm just saying it. Now, getting this done early. Naomi versus Ruby Riott. Naomi, and my baby is, she just looks lovely. And it angers me that last year, which is the beginning of 2017, was the final push for Naomi to finally become a champion. And she has. And now she's at the very end of 2017, and she's jobbing. Now, mind you, I want to make this very clear. When it comes to Naomi, she could still get over in 2018, and they could do something special with her. Just at the moment now, she looks terrible because they're making her job. And then they're making her job to Ruby Riott and the Riott Squad, who can't handle the women in the locker room. The Absolution's no better. You put both of these teams together, Absolution and the Riott Squad, and you do not let them get over very long. Only a few weeks before they get their butts kicked. They couldn't do a Shield angle with one of these teams. Like Absolution, I would understand 100% they do the Shield angle when they first started. Kicked everybody's ass, no matter what amount of people that are there. They would beat everybody, including Asuka. But no. What was the point of both these teams? You should have just brought them in individually. It is a waste. And that was a waste for Naomi to get her ass kicked. It was a waste. Now, you got Bobby Roode and Baron Corbin as, I believe, the first match of the U.S. tournament. I was okay with the match. I was. And I'm so glad Bobby Roode won because he's supposed to be the one who's going to win it. Baron Corbin is done. He has been basically buried. They're doing like they always do. When there is momentum for a wrestler, male or female, they drop them. And they think, oh, if they can come back from this, then we'll push them. That is the reason why the WWE is stupid and has lost so much momentum with the fans. Instead of doing the right thing and making sure they're at least given an opportunity to go up and down in the card. Of course, a wrestler has to go to the top and then go back down a little bit and then come back up. No, they go hit the floor and they stay there because they force them to stay there, even when the people want them not to be. When you know they could give you more merchandise sales. Maybe a few more people will come to the arenas because of them, to hate them or to love them. No, you bury them. I don't understand the mindset of this. In NXT, they don't do it because Triple H is the one who's running it, and he makes sure they're treated properly, going up and down the card. They're treated properly. But in the main roster, it's just a big joke. But in the end, I'm glad to see Bobby Roode actually get this, and he needed it. Now, Jinder Mahal versus Ty Dillinger. And I know a lot of people are mad about this, and I'm happy. I'm not trying to be mean to anybody and say, your boy, the Ty Dillinger, the perfect 10, got his ass handed to him by Jinder Mahal with no help. This is what I kept telling people. As much as you don't like Jinder Mahal, he is a jobber, yes. Is he a great jobber? It's a so-so. Can he talk well? Not all the time, no. But he is someone that was in the lower card that they gave this opportunity to. And this could still lead to something for Ty later in the year coming. He could do something in 2018 because they see the value of jobbers. Because as far as they're concerned, guess what? Ty Dillinger is a jobber. He is a freaking jobber to them. But if they have the mindset beyond just saying, you know what, let's do nothing with these jobbers, who gives a fuck? Or they finally understand what I've been saying, you got no main star power. You need to start throwing the jobbers out there to do something. If you don't, you're not going to have anybody to work with. John Cena, what did he do? He went on Raw as far as I understand. And he did a great job, but he's one of the few people that has any star power, and he's not there often. So you need to do something with these wrestlers that are in the lower card or that job all the time. And if you think I'm wrong, tell me below why I'm wrong. That Jinder Mahal had to win. He needed to win. He's former champion, and he is a jobber that can do something. He's an established jobber. Ty is a new jobber. I'm just saying. Now, Randy Orton gave a very interesting speech in his interview. He said he had been messing up because he keeps caring about other people. Well, you know what? I don't care about that anymore. I am going to go into the Royal Room. I just got to get rid of 29 other people. And that was okay. Until you got Shinsuke Nakamura, his new best friend, coming out pretty much, let's rumble. I have to put that in my face. I don't know what to think about this situation between him and Shinsuke Nakamura. I felt that Shinsuke Nakamura and Randy Orton will eventually feud, maybe next year. I'm hoping that this is the case, that they'll either do one or two things. One, they will feud together, and this will help Shinsuke Nakamura and give something for Randy Orton to do. Two, they become a tag team. I know we got a lot of tag teams in Smackdown Live, and that's not a bad thing. Look, you got Rusev Day, you got New Day, you got the Fashion Police, you got the Bludgeon Brothers, you got Primo and Epico, you got, who else do you got? If you're lucky, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will eventually become a tag team and actually do something to get a title. You got the Usos, and if you're lucky, you can actually have Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura. I wouldn't mind seeing these guys tag together, and I wouldn't mind seeing a huge pool of tag wrestling on SmackDown Live. It actually makes more sense to do tag wrestling on SmackDown Live than on Raw. Raw doesn't really do it right. And even though, let's be honest, Road Dogg is still not a great writer, at least he understands that tag wrestling is still really relevant. So that's the reason why I got so many tag teams. And many of them are good. You got Rusev Day. Rusev Day is over. Like I said earlier, Aiden English makes it work. But in the end, this is what we got. Finally, and if I'm forgetting something, I am sorry. I am forgetting something. It is AJ Styles versus the Kevin Owens. Just a match. And you get another tense moment between, and why did they make that long, stupid pause between Shane and Daniel Bryan? I don't understand why they do that. Sometimes they think for dramatic reference, you got to have them stare at one another. Now, if it was a freeze frame, that would be understandable. And then you see them walking away or something. Or you recap it with the commentator team. That you see them just staring at each other. But they're actually live staring at each other, which makes no freaking sense. It doesn't work like that on live television. It looks awkward. And then you get the match, which was a good match. I'm not saying it wasn't. Next to the Bobby Roode and Corbin, this was the second best match of the night. Now, I know I could say Jinder Mahal and Ty Dillinger just to piss you guys off, but I'm not going to do that. They are a distant third. They are. They are a distant third. I know I could say the triple threat. I'm not saying that because that's a tag, not singles. You get my point. In the end, Shane McMahon interferes with the match by ejecting Sami Zayn. And then, guess what? Kevin Owens still wins. This is still building up to something. I have no idea where they're going to go with this. Will we get a fight between Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan? Is he healthy enough to actually wrestle? Or will Daniel Bryan leave, go to Raw, or stay on Smackdown and become a manager, or go to Raw to become a manager? It's hard to say. I don't know. But I am interested in more of what's going on SmackDown Live than on Raw. Raw just doesn't appeal to me that much. But SmackDown Live, even with its reduced wrestlers, not very good writing, it is a more appealing show for me personally. And should I recommend you seeing this show twice? No. You don't need to see this a second time. But I do believe you will enjoy it if you did see it. Have a good day. Have a good night.